All right, so in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I upgraded the stairs in my house from a basic stairway to a finished hardwood treads. The process was fairly straightforward, requires a few tools and materials that you can find at most building supply stores. The primary materials are the treads themselves. I chose to use these red oak stair treads so that they would match the rest of the flooring in my house. You'll also need some risers, which go on the vertical portion of the stairs, as well as a bit of construction adhesive, some caulking gun, stain, and some flooring sealer. So the first thing you'll want to do is clean up the existing stairs, remove any existing coverings. Getting a smooth and clean surface to start from is important. This means removing anything that protrudes past the base of the surface. For me, this largely consisted of removing or hammering in nail heads that were poking out past the surface. Once you've finished cleaning up the base of the stairs, you can start to take measurements for cutting your risers and treads. There are a few ways to do this, but I found that using a tread jig is the easiest and most accurate way to get it done. You can buy these online, or you could build one with a few pieces of scrap lumber, like I did here. The jig allows you to take accurate measurements for both the treads and risers. It also translates information about the angle of the stringer relative to the tread. When you're cutting pieces to fit, it can be useful to cut them slightly oversized and then test fit each side by angling them into position to check the fit before cutting the final length. The stairs I'm working on were a bit older, no longer square or flat. Because of this, I had to make a few extra angled cuts on the ends to get them to fit tightly into place. You'll want to finish your risers and treads before installing them if you can to make the job easier. For the oak stair treads here, I've decided to use a light stain to darken them slightly before coating with 3 coats of polyurethane sealer. Read through the instructions on the products you've bought to make sure you get your application process correct. For the polyurethane I used, the instructions were to coat once, let dry, then sand with a fine sandpaper, and then coat twice more, allowing for a couple hours of drying time in between each. I did all this in the garage to avoid getting fumes in the house. Finally, getting to the finishing stretch. With all your pieces cut, test fit, and finished, it's time to start gluing them into place with construction adhesive. I installed all the risers for the treads since the geometry of the tread allows it to overlap the riser. Make sure to buy plenty of adhesive as you want to apply a generous amount to each surface to ensure a strong bond. When placing each piece, make sure to apply strong and even pressure along the face to ensure good contact and a strong bond. You can nail the pieces in place with a brad nailer if you're worried about them moving before the glue dries. Once everything is set and the adhesive has dried, you can go along the perimeter and touch up any paint that was scuffed during installation. For my installation, many of the pieces were cut very tight to the stringers, and this created a lot of scratching of those stringers. So I had to go back through and touch up all that paint to get a clean, finished look. Overall, I think this is a great house upgrade and worth the time and effort if you have dated stairs. My stairs were never previously finished, so this was a big improvement. Best of luck with your future projects, especially if you plan to take on this upgrade. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. This is actually the first YouTube video I've ever made, so hopefully it was clear and you're able to learn something from it. I'll be back another day with more. Cheers.